Hey everybody, it's Van Time with Chuck and Deb, and today we want to talk about 5 tips for increasing your faith. Alright, hon, let's talk about increasing your faith. What's tip number 1?
Tip number 1 is the promises of God.
So one of the things that Deb and I have done over the years is we kind of, as we're having our quiet times, we're scouring the scriptures for God's promises. And then we catalog those and pray through them. So how has that helped us?
Well, I think one way it's helped us is, sometimes a promise will stand out, whether we're moving to a new place or doing something different. And when your faith is kind of shaken, you start doubting, going back to the promise or the promises is kind of like something that grounds us and holds us. It's like an anchor. It holds our faith steady. So the second one is hanging out with people who take risks.
There are some giants in faith in our everyday lives. I think of people like Jeff and Angie Sundell come back to the States, and they're crazy enough to believe that movements can be seen here in the United States. Or Fred and Melissa Campbell, Give Us Austin or We Die. Or Ray and Sarah Vaughn going to Houston, a city of 8 million people, and they want to take the city for Jesus. Hanging out with those kind of people is amazing.
Also reading biographies of people who had great faith, like missionaries, and that is very encouraging as well.
Yeah, George Mueller, Hudson Taylor, Adoniram Judson, those are all good people to read.
The third tip for increasing your faith is share the gospel.
Wow, that's a good one. How many times have we seen and trained people that are scared to death of sharing the gospel with anyone, a stranger or someone else? And as soon as they share, their faith is emboldened, and not only that, they get joy from sharing the good news. So share the gospel.
I was looking at a sign in a workout store, and it said, do one thing that scares you every day. And immediately I thought, share the gospel, that'll scare you.
Takes faith.
The fourth tip is give extravagantly.
Yeah, this is a good one, because a lot of times we're searching for ways to build our faith, and this one, with the gospel as well, we're actually commanded to give. And when you give extravagantly, you're usually having to trust God to provide. When I was in Korea and Deb and I were dating, I was reading Hudson Taylor's Spiritual Secret, and I felt prompted by the Holy Spirit to give away my whole paycheck and trust God for a month on His provision. That was one of the scariest things I ever did, but you know what? God came through in powerful ways during that month, and it really increased our faith.
Number 5 is take opportunities to exercise your faith.
So we've done this a few times. What's one of the times where we exercise our faith?
Probably the one that comes to mind is about 5 years ago. We decided to sell all our possessions, give the money to the poor, store up treasure in heaven, and follow Jesus to Texas. And just looking at what Jesus told the rich young ruler, and we chose to use that as an opportunity to exercise our faith and to see how God could provide.
Yeah. And so faith is like a muscle, okay? When you go to the gym and you do bench presses, you don't start out with 500 pounds and 50 reps. You start out with so many pounds and a few reps. And you always have a spotter there so that if it gets too heavy and you hit muscle failure, you have somebody to spot you, rescue you. You know, God's a good spotter. Puts the weight on, we do a few reps, we get strong, but if we hit muscle failure, He's right there to rescue us. But we gotta press into this thing called faith in order to grow stronger. Hey, if this has been helpful, pass it on to your friends. Got questions? Put them in the comments below. And let me get the right corner this time, right there. Subscribe if you enjoy this. All right, until next time, keep making disciples until
There's no place left. Can I see that muscle again?
oh yeah,
Woo!
there you go. That's really kind of hanging down there.